It just got to the point where they just said, eventually you're just gonna have to live with it and learn to walk with a cane and eventually be in a wheelchair. And I wasn't gonna settle for that, especially when I had my chopper sitting out in the garage. Wheelchair was not an option. My name is Kevin Shepard. I started out with a Harley Davidson, and my wife and I were in Daytona one day, and we stopped into a motorcycle shop there, and they have the big dog choppers, and I just fell in love with the bike I have. It's fast, it's very responsive, and it's a beautiful looking bike, and I just had to have it. January of '08, I was involved in an accident. I was rear-ended in Orlando, and didn't really have any problems for the first 4 to 6 weeks. And then about 8 weeks, I started getting back pains, leg pains. And then as time went by, it got worse and worse and worse. It got so bad after about a year, seeing the doctors, trying different things to ease the pain, that the doctor more or less told me, he says, there's nothing left we can do. You can continue doing shots in your back for steroids to try to help it along. We tried that. It lasted about a week. Okay, this is what I was restricted from riding due to my back issue. As you can see, I think it's a beautiful bike. Fell in love with it when I saw it. Had to have it. It's a big dog, manufactured out of Kansas City, Kansas. 117 cubic inch, a lot of power. It's got a 14-inch wide tire on the back. A lot of details in this bike. It just got to the point where they just said, eventually you're just gonna have to live with it and learn to walk with a cane and eventually be in a wheelchair. And I wasn't gonna settle for that, especially when I had my chopper sitting out in the garage. Wheelchair was not an option. But about a year and a half, my attorney had mentioned Dr. Duke. So I went and visited him and really liked what he had to say. I was kind of scared, when you talk back surgery. It's not something that you really want to visit ever in your life, but it just got so bad, the pain, that 3 minutes at a time is all I could stand. It has a mind effect on you. You're looking into the future, but you're also stuck here knowing that you can't do anything for yourself. You can't go out and ride your motorcycle. You can't play with a kid. You can't pick her up and hug her, and just everything that we take for granted every day, you can't do. We did think about surgery before Dr. Duke was even brought up, but the only surgery that I was told that was available was to do fusion of the spine. And that entailed hospitalization, almost a year's recovery, and that just was not an option. And from what I've heard with the fusion, it's just like a ricochet effect, that over time it just moves from one disc to another, and you just got to keep fusing and fusing and fusing. And to me, that was not an option. I would have rather just lived with the pain if I had to do that. And then, lo and behold, met with Dr. Duke, and he told us about his procedure. To me, it's a beautiful bike. Gets a lot of attention anywhere we go. But this is our passion, and I have no problems riding it now. No pain, nothing. Just enjoyment. Walked right out of the surgery. The weird thing is, I didn't even realize it. I was standing there in the reception room waiting for the doctor to come out, and I'm thinking, I don't have any back pain. It was just that quick. Walked away, stepped up in the truck, sat down, got home, walked in, and nothing was bothering me. That's when it hit me. I think we've got a cure here. I think we've got a fix. And to this day, there's no problems. I walked out of there 3 hours later with no pain at all. no pain at all. And to this day, I had it done August 6th of 2009 and doing great. I went back to work 5 days later. 5 days later. If you're living with back pain, I wholeheartedly recommend you see Dr. Duke and start the process of figuring out what your problem is and let him run with it and take care of it and heal it, more or less what he does. And you won't regret it.